Diego Alexander Ruiz Restrepo, a Colombian serial killer dubbed the Psychopath of Meiggs, is confirmed to have committed at least 7 murders in the Meiggs neighborhood of Estación Central, Chile, between March and November 2020. He had been living there as an undocumented immigrant since 2013. Additionally, the Chilean prosecutor's office has linked him to the murder of 20 other people. Ruiz's mother became pregnant at 16. He was raised by his maternal grandparents and worked as a car mechanic for 5 years. In 2010, Ruiz's mother moved to Chile, and he joined her 3 years later, entering the country as a tourist. He held various jobs in civil construction. At 22, he embraced Christianity and was well regarded in his Cali neighborhood. Ruiz has a son named Andy, with an Ecuadorian woman in Chile. Since 2015, he has lived with his brother-in-law in La Alameda, Santiago, where his brother-in-law described him as an alcoholic who was abusive towards his sister. Ruiz has a history of violence, including stabbing incidents involving his sister, mother, grandfather, and stepfather, leading to a restraining order from his sister. Reports indicate Ruiz frequently engaged in conflicts in his neighborhood, including threatening neighbors with weapons. He had a criminal record for robberies and was involved in violent incidents, preventing him from obtaining a permanent residence visa in Chile. On March 7, 2020, Victor Olegario Allende Salas was found dead. He faced accusations of sexual abuse from his daughters and suffered from senile dementia, making him Ruiz's first known victim. Later, on November 1st, Colombian immigrant Carlos Andrés Rivas Angulo, who had migrated to Chile in 2010, was stabbed approximately 25 times by Ruiz after a night of drinking with friends. Guido Hernán Gallardo Contreras, a homeless individual, was also killed that day, with limited information available about him. On November 8th, Ruiz murdered 4 additional victims. Among them was Luis Marcelo Romero Geria, a homeless addict with children who were not notified of his death. His 5th victim, Marcia Margot Tapia Loncon, despite having a residence in Cerro Navia, lived as a homeless person in the Estación Central area, suffering from alcoholism and schizophrenia, and had 2 children. His 6th victim that day, Leonidas Vicente Panes Fierro, a former carabinero who grew up in an orphanage with his brothers after his mother's death, lived in a tent in Estación Central due to homelessness. Leonidas had an ex-wife and 3 children. His son Brandon learned of his father's death through the press. His final victim that day was Rodrigo Che Manino Carmona, an Argentine immigrant born in Mendoza to an Italian father and an Argentine mother who arrived in Chile in 2016. He was fatally stabbed in the neck by Ruiz and buried in Santiago General Cemetery. Diego also committed many other crimes. On August 3, 2020, Ruiz threatened Oscar P. with a 20-centimeter knife, claiming to have killed many people before and suggesting Oscar could be next. Oscar managed to evade the attack and reported it to the Carabinero de Chile. 5 days later, Ruiz attacked Pedro Manuel Bustamante Babane, along with his friend Leonidas Vicente Panes. Although stabbed and kicked by Ruiz, Bustamante survived after receiving medical treatment at the Barros Arana National Institute. Despite recovering, he continued living on the streets, leading some media outlets to mistakenly report him as a deceased victim. In addition to his confirmed 7 murders, Ruiz is under investigation for involvement in 20 other deaths. If confirmed, this would make him the most prolific serial killer in Chile's history. Among these cases is the murder of Carlos Núñez Valenzuela on April 16, 2018, who sustained 6 stab wounds. As of 2021, the public ministry continues to investigate him as a possible victim of Ruiz. Chief Investigator Pamela Contreras noted that Ruiz exhibited a pattern of behavior with identical walking sequences between crime locations, which aided in solving the cases through security camera footage. Clothing worn by Ruiz during the crimes, including a hood, was found in his residence. The next day, Ruiz was arrested for investigation and later ordered to be held in custody by a judge due to being deemed a danger to society. The judge highlighted that Ruiz attacked his victims indiscriminately and brutally, without provocation or chance of defense. Although initially involved in 7 murders, investigations suggest up to 15 victims. As of January 2021, he was held in preventive detention at the Special High Security Unit in Santiago. In July 2023, Ruiz received a qualified life sentence, which can be appealed after serving a minimum of 40 years in Chile. Ruiz targeted homeless individuals of both genders. Forensic psychologist Belisario Valbuena suggested that Ruiz chose this profile because they are often not missed by family members and may not even be identifiable. Some families of the victims only learned about their relatives' deaths through the media, as they were not informed by security institutions. Ruiz's deadliest night occurred on November 8th, when he attacked 5 people in 70 minutes, resulting in 4 fatalities. Do you think he should ever have the option to appeal his life sentence? Let us know in the comments.